Chris Wallace spoke to neocon John Bolton from the Trump administration, and Chris Wallace went after Trump for one of his anti-media tweet storms. Now let's take a look at that, and then I feel compelled to respond to this.
The fake news hates me saying that they are the enemy of the people only because they know it's true. I am providing a great service by explaining this to the American people. They purposely cause great division and distrust. They can also cause war. They are very dangerous and sick. Ambassador, what wars have we started?
Look, I think the issue of press bias has been around for a long, long time. As a boy, I supported Barry Goldwater in 1964. I thought the press was biased against him. I don't think it's changed much since then.
Absolutely agreed. There is press bias. People, people get stories wrong, and people are called out for it, and we should be called out if we make a mistake. Cause war, sick, divisive. This is taking it to a completely different level.
His question, and make no mistake about it, guys, Chris Wallace thinks this is a gotcha. He goes, oh, look at Trump's tweet. Trump says the media indeed is the enemy of the people. By the way, that language does go too far to say the enemy of the people. That's way too far. You can criticize the media as harshly as you want, but when you call them enemy of the people, that has negative connotations that, can lead to violence, and I think that's irresponsible, to say the least. So I don't like that framing. But, okay, the point of the tweet, though, was the media actually is terrible, and they're so bad, and they're so misleading. Okay, I think that's all true. That they actually have even gotten us into war. Chris Wallace goes, what wars have we started? He thinks that's a gotcha. Because, we, in a very literal sense, yes, we're never the people who sign off on war. Yeah, but you did nonstop propaganda and pushed for it endlessly, particularly in Iraq. There's no way the war in Iraq could have happened without the complicit media doing propaganda for the Bush administration. Wittingly or unwittingly, I don't care. The bottom line is, you beat that war drum so thoroughly and so often that it eventually led to war. You built up the popular will for war. It was a war based on lies. It wasn't true. And Fox News, they were the chief propagandists for the administration. The entire mainstream media refused to call torture torture because the Bush administration said, hey, can you be nice to us and say it's enhanced interrogation? And so they did it. Did you know that in Iraq, the media, across the board, at the behest of the government, made a decision? You know what that decision was? We're not going to show the flag-draped coffins coming back to the U.S. from Iraq. Our soldiers dying. We're not going to show those flag-draped coffins coming here. Why? Because they knew that would chip away at support for the war. Why? Because in Vietnam, that's what happened. Support for the war dropped tremendously when all you saw on the news was flag-draped coffins coming back every single day. All these men and women, daughters and sons coming back dead, fighting in a war that's a useless war. It's an unnecessary war. It's a dumb war. It's an offensive war. Why are you doing this? If you see the fucking coffins, it becomes a hell of a lot more real, doesn't it? So the government asked the media, hey, don't show the flag-draped coffins. The media goes right along with it. Sir, what wars have we caused? You got the way the media covers war. They are definitely not only responsible for the build-up to war in Iraq and elsewhere, but they're also responsible for them continuing unabated to this day. Chris Wallace, when was the last time you did a segment going into detail about the situation in Afghanistan? When was the last time you did a segment calling out the fact that we have 900 military bases that cost $100 billion a year to maintain? When was the last time you called out our shadow war in Africa? When was the last time you called out the fact that we're bombing 8, maybe even 9 at this point, different countries right this second? When was the last time you called out the 432% increase in drone strikes that the Trump administration did? When was the last time you called out the fact that Donald Trump's first military act as president was a raid that killed an 8-year-old girl who, by the way, happened to be an American citizen? You didn't call it out. You didn't call it out. So your job is supposed to be to educate the public on issues that matter. When you don't educate them on those issues, yes, you're at least partly responsible for what's happening over there. And again, to be crystal clear, the worst example is Iraq, because it was directly as a result of the propaganda from the media and how they pushed it over and over and over. Oh my God, Saddam Hussein, weapons of mass destruction. Oh my God, he has yellow cake. Oh my God, he was responsible for 9/11. And every time they moved the goalpost, the administration, the Bush administration, what happened? The media didn't question them. They went right along with their propaganda. So first it was Saddam Hussein is responsible for 9/11. He was working with Osama bin Laden. Media reported that loyally, listening to their overlords in the government. Then we learned that was total bullshit. What happened? They moved the rationale. It went from, oh, okay, no, what we meant was he has weapons of mass destruction. So then what did the media do? They gleefully reported that as well. So they didn't say, hold on now, you originally told us that he was responsible for 9/11. Now you're saying he's not responsible for 9/11, so why are we there? They didn't say that like a good media would do. They said, oh, you just changed the justification? Okay, we'll just report the change of justification. It's still cool that we're there. Then, by the way, they changed it again when that turned out not to be true to, I hope you're sitting, you ready for this one? Saddam's a bad guy. He's a dictator. That's a reason to do an offensive war? We actively fund and prop up 73% of the world's dictatorships. And the media had the nerve to report, yeah, he's a bad guy. That's why we're going to take him out, because we care about freedom and stuff. The minimal amount of fact-checking would have showed that's bullshit. Just a little bit, but no. They decided we'll just go with whatever the government wants us to say. So we actively fund and prop up 73% of the world's dictatorships, but we're going to say that we're toppling this guy because he's a dictator and a bad guy? Yeah, I guess we'll just report that. It's totally fine. You are complicit. You are responsible. Guys, what happened when Donald Trump bombed Syria the first time? What happened? Wall-to-wall positive coverage on the media. Oh, today is the day he became president, said Fareed Zakaria. Brian Williams said, the beauty of our missiles taking off. Wall-to-wall positive coverage. The most positive coverage Trump ever got was when he bombed Syria the first time. It's the most positive coverage he ever got. And Chris Wallace has the nerve to say, us? What wars did we cause? Sure, we heap endless praise on any president who decides to start bombing shit offensively, but us? What are we responsible for? God damn it, man. Listen, Donald Trump is a buffoon, and when he screams about how the media is fake news, he's only doing that because the media reports against him sometimes, and they run stories that are against him sometimes. So he doesn't like that, so that's why he screams fake news. So it's got nothing to do with actual fake news and like, oh, the media really is objectively terrible. So he's a fucking carnival barker clown. I don't care about him, okay? The point here is this tap dance that the media has been doing in response to Trump, which is, us? Oh, gosh golly. We didn't do anything wrong. I can't believe you're saying that we're not good at what we do because we're really good at what we do. No, you're not. You suck. Stop playing the victim. Stop pretending you're oppressed. Stop pretending like you didn't do anything. You did a lot of the shit that intelligent people accuse you of doing. Again, not including Trump. When Trump screams fake news, it's just because you reported it against him. But when people say you're really shitty, by the way, they're trust in the media was at an all-time low before Trump even came to power. What does that tell you? It means you were already shitty. So stop pretending now that Trump's in there that all of a sudden, by definition, you're correct and we didn't do anything. What wars did we cause except almost all of them in the modern era?